Joining me online is Stella Young, a disability advocate. Stella, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Dennis.
I've just had a look at a YouTube clip of Prime Minister Rudd with a disabled person. As he goes to stand up, there's outrage that he supposedly has patted the young lady on the head. Is that correct?
Yes, he patted an adult woman who uses a wheelchair on the head at the launch of disability care last Monday.
Last Monday, to me, it doesn't look, and I'm not a particular fan of Kevin Rudd's, but it doesn't look offensive to me. But for your community, it does. It is.
Well, look, I mean, I've had lots of interesting reactions. I wrote about this incident yesterday, and I've had lots of different reactions from all corners of the internet, as is usual these days. But look, what I found really confronting about it, and I'm a wheelchair user, I'm often patted on the head, and I find it really uncomfortable. I find it really humiliating, and it's not the way people respond to other adults in the community, and it's a reminder that people don't quite see you in the same way. It's a reminder of the inequality.
You make your point very well, and I guess this is, from what you're saying, this is something that happens a lot, and people, even though their intention might be okay, it's not okay.
Yeah, and it's not actually just about the patting on the head either. It's about the general kind of condescension that people with disabilities face in the community. You know, we're infantilized a lot. I was on my way to work this morning, and I ducked into a chemist to buy some Panadol, and a woman asked me if I was on an outing. You know, there's no thought that I might be on my way to work, just like all the other women in their early 30s who are around me, because people just don't see me in the same way. And I think that it's time we really got our act together and started respecting disabled people.
See, the other issue here, Stella, is that would Mr. Rudd or any of us pat someone else on the head, or sort of, he didn't actually pat, but he touched the girl on the top of the head.
He kind of scratched her, sort of like he would a pet, I think. But, you know, it's interesting.
There's a lesson for all of us, though, isn't there?
Well, I think the lesson is treat disabled people as you would treat anyone else. And I very much doubt that Kevin Rudd would pat one of his female parliamentary colleagues on the head. And in fact, Jenny Macklin was asked yesterday by a journalist if the Prime Minister had ever patted her on the head, and she said, "Don't be silly." And, you know, for someone like Jenny Macklin, the thought of being patted on the head would be abhorrent, because people just don't respond like that to non-disabled people. But for us, the condescension seems okay, and people have been kind of defending it by saying, oh, but disabled people, they make people really uncomfortable, and people don't know how to respond, and people don't know how to act. Just don't be an idiot would be a good start, I reckon.
Stella, thank you for joining us. It's interesting. We're going to put it out there to the callers, to the listeners too, whether you've actually ever thought about this. I certainly hadn't until this popped up. It does not look offensive to me, but I can understand how it could be for people in that situation. 96900 693. Stella Young, thank you.
Thanks for having me, Dennis.
That's a pleasure. Kevin Rudd may not have intentionally patted the young lady on the head, but certainly someone in his party got a tap on the shoulder a couple of weeks ago.